Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to TCR. This is Trinity Competitive Racing, and it's Season 10, and we are back with the Golden Class here after a week off. Last week we did not have any racing for the US Thanksgiving holiday, but we are back to finish off this season with the last 3 rounds in Golden Class in Season 10 in total. We've only got 3 rounds to go, and they're all in North America. Starting off tonight with my home race, and I'm very excited to be here tonight. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. So welcome, bienvenue à Montréal. We are in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and we are at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It's a very historical track. It's a beautiful track. It's a little bit tricky for a lot of drivers. It requires a little bit of a different driving style than normal, and tonight it looks like it's going to be a little bit extra tricky because we've got a fully wet qualifying. So welcome everybody who's already joining the stream. I'm so glad to see you guys here. My name is BLIN-MACHINE. I will be here with you tonight, and together with me it is Turkey Whacker making another beautiful return to our commentary booth. How you doing, man?
I am so stoked right now. I am covered in my Gore-Tex weather gear, sitting here watching this qualifying. I can't get over the fact that it's after watching that 2011 race with Jenson Button, you can't do this TCR race without rain. It's going to be epic.
I sure hope so. Definitely Silver Class already this week has been very exciting, to say the least. There's been a few incidents. There's been a couple of little moments. There was weather as well in that one. We, of course, don't yet know what weather is going to be like in the actual race, so we will have to wait and see for that. But so far, we've got so many people out on track. A couple of people already starting their lap. JXW Gaming is going to be the first one to go around here properly, and he is wiggling all over the place. What is it like to drive around here in these sort of conditions, Turkey?
So tricky. You have to remember, Canada is a city track circuit. So, you know, there's lots of, quick switchback chicanes. And when you're doing that at a high speed, it's just, there's so much flicking of the car, and you're trying to get the wheel spin correct. It's like playing a chess match.
Well, let's see who's gonna get the right moves here tonight. JXW is going to be the first one to cross the line with a 122.3. We've got Asio having a little bit of a struggle, almost touching the wall coming through into turn 30, or into turns 8 and 9 right now in the second sector. Oh, very, very, very wiggly all over the place there. The backhand just wants to step out all the time.
I'm actually really excited to see Flying Jippo tonight. He just let me know in an interview that he's raced with no line because he's getting prepared for Platinum. And I also asked him how comfortable he is in the weather like this. I'm not saying I have anything with planning this stuff. This is just pure interview. Is that he won last year, I believe, in silver in the rain. So this is pretty exciting to watch.
Alright, so some drivers will definitely like the weather that they're seeing on track right now, and some might not. We will have to wait and see if anybody's going to struggle in these sort of conditions, but a lot of drivers completing their laps right now. Chargers just making it around the hairpin of turn 10 and coming onto that really long back straight before you make it into the last chicane on this track, and which of course at the exit of turn 14 leads on to the Wall of Champions, the infamous one you're about to see on the right. No, you're not, because Chargers is going to go into the pits. He will abandon that particular lap. So who else do we have going out there? Stanley. He's coming into 8 and 9 right now, getting a very nice ride on both curbs, both coming in and going out, managing to hold the car together as much as he can into the rundown of 10, gets a purple second sector lock up on both wheels, but manages to get a good turn. Let's see if he gets good traction on the exit. Upshifting very shortly. So short shifting, geez, I can't even get my words out right now. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so I think Danley was the curveball this season for Gold. He's a friend of mine. I pushed him really hard to join TCR, and I just can't tell you how stoked I am to see how successful he's been. I will say that after an interview with him, he's actually not comfortable in the rain here. He hasn't been doing that much practice. It's kind of a crapshoot with the weather, but I feel like 2020 F1, the weather's definitely been more races in the rain. But it'll be exciting to see someone like Stanley, who's dominated not in the rain, possibly dominate in a race like this in the rain to kind of show that he's a versatile driver.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool drivers here tonight, and Stanley right now is on provisional pole with 121.555, and he's going for another lap around here. He just had a purple first sector and had a little bit of traffic there on the way, but doing an incredible job here in the starting of qualifying. Still got 11 minutes to go, but yeah, I gotta give it to these guys. They're doing a very good job so far in these sort of conditions.
Yeah, no, totally. This is, this is the middle tier of TCR, and a lot of these guys are veterans. They've been doing this for a while. Speaking of veterans, Mr. Jones will be going out there. I think he's up for a podium, possibly a win. This is a guy that's been doing a track like this for Canada and TCR for a very long time, so he knows the tricks around here. And sometimes those tricks, to be honest, are just playing it cool, not trying to make a dive bomb in a chicane like the Wall of Champions, where you can put your signature on the wall after because you're out of the race. If you're smart around here, you can wait for the DRS straights, pass cleanly, and just go through that, because I hate to break it to you, there will be a safety car in this race, guaranteed.
Alright, so you heard it from Turkey. We're expecting at least one safety car. We might have more, of course. It's definitely a little tricky to overtake here, but with that huge back straight, it's very nice with the DRS as well, and if you have some overtake saved up, isn't that a good place?
That's exactly, that's definitely a good place, but with that final chicane with the Wall of Champions, it's just so tight. It's so hard to go 50-50 in there. And if you do, you make contact. What I'm saying is that you can get excited on this track, overuse your ERS. Instead, you should wait to that final straight, then use all the overtake you can so you can utilize it the best.
Look at that, Golderator jumps into second place right now on the front row with a 121.8. Pretty good lap from him, and he's going into the pits to possibly put on another set. It doesn't look like the weather is improving at all, so I'm not expecting people to go on to intermediates and be quicker at this point in time, but Chargers and Jones and Ben Swerven have all decided to try and go out there on an intermediate tire and see if everything happens. We do have McLaren here and Motor City, I think, or Motor City. I think he's for sure a reserve tonight. I'm not sure what happened to McLaren, but he might be a reserve tonight as well.
Yeah, McLaren. I'm not sure about him. Yeah, Motor. I did an interview with him, and the interesting thing about Motor is that this is going to be his first race without traction. So good luck going around the track in he's a good friend of mine, but good luck going around the track in weather like this with no traction.
Yeah, and Flying Jippo racing with no racing line, so a couple of drivers trying out different things. Let's see how it works out. I'm watching as Seagreased is going around here on a fast lap, going through 8 and 9 right now, and about to come into the end of the second sector and into the hairpin. Let's see what sort of the time. Ooh, he's purple, and he's purple by almost 3/10. That is quite impressive. Let's see what sort of time Seagreased is going to be able to post. Currently, he's got a 122.5. He's about a second down on Stanley on pole right now.
Very interesting notes from Seagrass. He's definitely got that NASCAR interview mentality. He says he likes the track, loves the WAT ASS track, whatever that means. Goal is to win and want to race nobody because I'm far in the front. Kind of reminds me of Seafreeze's interviews.
And there we go. Seagreased goes up into third at the moment, 122.0, so improved by half a second on his previous time. Still got a little bit to go now as Stanley improves even further to a 121.3. The closest person to him right now is still Golderator with that 121.8. So still a little bit of time to go, 7.5 minutes. we're watching as Ben Swerven is one of the guys that is out there right now on an intermediate tire, and I'm really interested to see how it's going to perform compared to the rest of the guys on the wets. Let's see. I mean, he has to be posting some purple times here, but he's not at the moment.
I got some breaking news for you, Blin. This is straight from the paddock. It's going to be a dry race.
All right, so pretty much exactly what we had last night. We started off with a slightly wet session for qualifying, and then going into a dry race. Now, in the race, though, we did have a couple of changes of weather, so it might be interesting to see. In this game, you never really know what could happen in terms of weather. It could change at any second, and that's actually funny because that's exactly what happens in Canada. You know, we could have all 4 seasons in a single day in certain places, so definitely, you know, especially in Canada, anything can happen in terms of weather. We'll just have to wait and see, as Ben Swerven does go very quick with that intermediate to third place, 121.3, Chargers 120.7. So the intermediate tire is starting to come into effect. Golderator is out there on an outlap on that intermediate tire as well now.
Now I'm going to put my money on the line, and I'm going to say Ben Swerven is going to get at least a podium today. He is a dark horse. This guy wakes up every day, puts his laps in, puts his times in. He's just been getting bad luck, getting bad bumps here and there. I think he's going to succeed today.
We'll have to wait and see. And just as a quick reminder here for our standings right now, so of course Flying Jippo is already the Season 10 Golden Class champion. He actually managed to do that a couple of rounds ago as Golderator goes off the track and hits the wall right after the turns of 8 and 9 there. So I think he's going to have to come back and change his front wing and maybe change tires, because that is not going to be a good time for him there. He's also invalidated his outlap so far, having a little bit of trouble of getting traction on those intermediate tires. But yeah, Flying Jippo, 231 points to his name. Unfortunately, DNF'd in the last race, so didn't get anything else. But Stanley is in second with 152, Chargers in third, 144. We have Z-Grease, 130 in fourth place, and Arrow in fifth with 114. So there's still a little bit of a battle going on there for the second place in the championship overall in Season 10. And also there's a massive battle going on for what is currently 6th place, where Joshua is with 93 points and Astio right behind him in 7th and 91 points. But in terms of the Constructors' Championship, that is still up for grabs. Renault have been putting on quite a show in the last couple of races, and they've been closing up that gap and keeping themselves alive in the race. Now, there is quite a gap between the two teams right now. There's a gap of 100 points between 245 and 145 points, but there's still 132 points up for grabs. So, if Red Bull can score 33 points here tonight, which is going to be a 1st and a 6th place or better, that will clinch the Constructors in Canada in round 14. That might be a very exciting ending to our race tonight, wouldn't it?
Thank you so much, Blin, for doing that math equation for us.
Yeah, my brain hurts just from thinking about it.
Yeah, that hurt my brain, but we greatly appreciate it. We can talk about, constructors. We can talk about, the champions already crowned. But let's be honest, this is racing, and once that visor goes down, it's rock and roll. Who cares about? It's all about getting first. This race is going to be awesome.
And now we have Golderator doing a beautiful lap there as we were watching him with a 119.5, and he goes on to provisional pole. You have a Giggle currently sitting in second with a 120.0, about half a second behind, and he's out there on another quick lap. We haven't really looked on a full lap with anyone here, so let's go on board with Chargers as he's crossing the line right now after he's done an outlap into turn 1, hard braking over the curb on the inside. You can cut quite a bit of it there, doing a little bit of a wider run into turn 2, but getting it pretty nicely together now, and now running into the first chicane on this track, which is turn 3 and 4, getting a beautiful run there, kissing both chicanes on both sides. In the meantime, Asio goes up into provisional pole, 119.4. Now, a little bit of a lock up there from Chargers as he comes into the turns of 5, and now running into 6 and 7, sorry there, and then now running into 8 and 9, which is going to bring you on onto a little bit of a straight before you go into the hairpin of turn 10. Getting a beautiful run through there as well is Chargers. He's going to cross the line of the second sector right now. Oh my goodness, he is up by quite a bit. He is flying absolutely here tonight. And Chargers right now getting good rotation around the hairpin, then getting a good traction out of the corner. Opens up, well, no DRS right now in these conditions. So all he's got is just his right foot.
Right here. This is the make or break.
Into the last chicane, the wall of champions waiting for you on the right there, getting super close to it there, almost giving it a little kiss. He's gonna come to the line now. He's only good enough for third right now with a 119.6, but I'll tell you what, a lot of our drivers are continuing on for second and third laps. These are intermediate tires. They do need a couple of laps to sort of get the temperature right.
No, totally. Here comes Stanley coming up to the wall of champions.
Ooh, Stanley.
Wow, what a pro.
Up into second place, 119.429, only 16 thousandths of a second between Osseo and Stanley right now, and he might continue on for another one. It does look like he's pushing. Golden Raider is invalidated this lap, so he's gonna have to try again. Chargers does look like he's not pushing right now because his ERS is exactly at 100%, so he's doing a little bit of a cool down lap. So is Flying Jippo. You have a Giggle coming across the line right now, stays 6th with a 120.0, only less than a minute to go in this qualifying session. Ben Swerven is on an outlap and he's only halfway through the lap. I don't think he's going to be able to make it to the line in time, so he might stay 7th. TCR Jones is in the pits. He's not doing anything. Mr. Joshua, though, he's out there on a lap right now, and he definitely needs to improve from that 9th place because he wants to do really good today here so they can score some points for Renault and keep this Constructors Championship fight alive.
Yeah, no way Ben Swerven's going to make this. We forgot to mention, did we talk about how the track restrictions are at strict?
I don't think we did. Yeah, so we are running with strict rules.
Yeah, so that is going to be a big... TCR Jones did bring that up to me. His goal is to not get any penalties. And when I was racing last night with you, if you look to the left, saw everyone's penalty, you're like, I could win this race in 5th place if I don't get a penalty.
Z-Grease goes up into second place, 119.427, so he beats Stanley's time by just 2 thousandths of a second. That is absolutely ridiculous, the gap between second and third right now. Golden Raider into the pits. Chargers has had enough time to start another lap. He's just put in a purple sector in sector 2. He's running down into what Turkey calls the make or break moment of this track, and that is the Wall of Champions in the last chicane. Let's see it from on board. Gets a nice little kiss on both. Oh my god. Ooh. Takes a bigger kiss and a bigger touch on the outside curb. Almost loses the car down to the line. He improves up into 4th place from 5th with a 119.430. So look at that. Look at that gap between Z-Grease, Stanley, and Chargers. It is 3 thousandths of a second. Exactly. I was just going to say.
It's amazing. Yeah, I beat you to that one, Blin.
And we've already got 12 people watching the stream. Thank you guys so much for joining. Leave us some comments. Let us know how you guys, or who you're rooting for here tonight. Who you think is going to be on the podium. Leave us a like and obviously subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't yet. And get ready for what is definitely bound to be a great Grand Prix here, judging by the gaps between these cars. So it's Z-Grease on second, but it's going to be Osseo keeping that pole position with a 119.413. But look at those gaps. 14 thousandths of a second, 16 thousandths of a second, 17 thousandths of a second. That is absolutely ridiculous. Then we've got Golden Raider in 5th, Flying Jippo in 6th, the champion in 6th place. That is definitely going to be tricky for him to get up there. JXW Gaming in 7th, you have a Giggle in 8th, Joshua in 9th, Ben Swerven in 10th, Jones in 11th, Diego in 12th, Ryan in 13th, Steven, Dre, and Motown and McLaren have all not set times. That is because Nip, Steven, Dre, and Motown, I'm guessing, are all reserves. Or actually, no, sorry. I think actually McLaren and Motown are serving a, or not Motown, sorry, Motown is definitely a reserve, but I think McLaren and Dre might be serving a back of the grid penalty.
Ooh, that's always tough. Now, Blinn, let's talk tire compounds.
So if it's gonna stay dry, I mean, these guys are gonna have a totally free choice right now because they're starting from, a wet qualifying onto dry tires. I would probably go and plan for a one stop, if possible, from a medium to a hard, or maybe even the opposite way around, really. But if you're starting towards the front, you're gonna have to try and have amazing pace at the front. So I think you can make a two-stop work here. Probably going for maybe a medium to a soft or something around there. But that's only what I would do. Last night, starting from second place, I was starting from the intermediate tires. So that was completely different. So not really sure what would be a good one. What do you think?
I don't know. It's one of those, like, after racing yesterday, I wish I did some more research. So whenever I practice, I like to go on the medium, see how well the mediums do after 10 laps with loaded fuel. And the mediums were getting pretty eaten up by around like lap 14. See, the problem is I didn't do was I didn't check the hard tires. And I'm curious to see if anyone's going to throw a curveball out there for us and possibly go maybe softs to hards. It could be interesting if those hards can keep up pace. But yeah, no, definitely there's a good chance our winner today is going to go soft, medium, or any one of those combinations.
Well, let's get out there and warm up those tires and we'll take a look at who fitted on what. So it looks like we've got a big mix of tire strategies here tonight. It's going to be the leader starting on mediums together with Z-Grease in the front row, Stanley and Chargers, softs, and then we've got a lot of people from 5th all the way down to 11th, all on the medium tire. Diego on the soft, Ryan and Steven on the medium, Dre on the soft, Motor City on the medium, and McLaren P1 on the soft tire right at the back in 17th place. So that is definitely going to shake things up as well. I'm sure Stanley and Chargers will want to try and get ahead of Asio and Zegris as soon as possible so they can run in open air and get those tires to work properly, because if they have to stick behind someone around this track especially, tire temperatures could get up there very, very quickly.
No, totally. I think what Stanley's his game plan is, as well as Chargers, is let's make it all the way out to turn 10 and 11, get as close as we can to the back of Seagrease, check his license plate number, and then smoke right by him with those softs. Because if you get stuck behind a guy with mediums, it's just going to eat your softs away. It's going to ruin your race.
Alright, so we are coming to the back end of this warm-up lap and this out lap.
Oh, baby, I'm excited for this.
Asio leading them out there. Get ready for the Canadian Grand Prix. It always brings a lot of action, and I'm sure it will this time around as well. I love this shot as they're all passing by the Wall of Champions. Let's see if anyone will leave their signature on it. As you mentioned there, Turkey, that is a great expression.
Let's just make sure that there's no safety cars wrecking anybody like Sequit with their last race we commentated together.
So, lights are about to go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights are on. We're waiting for them to go off now. And the lights are off, and we go racing. Asio gets a pretty good start. So does Zegris right beside him, though. And so does Stanley. He's already up into second place before they even come into turn 1. They make it through turn 2. They're side by side as well. There's a Force India. Oh my god, look at that Red Bull attacking right now on Zegris. So that would be Flying Jimbo trying to make his move. And he almost bounces into the side of him there. But they make it safely through turns 3 and 4 now. So Zegris down to 3rd place from that P2 start, and Stanley with a beautiful start, making his way up from 4th all the way up into 2nd place.
Zegris got caught walking the dog.
And Flying Jippo almost got caught there with Seagrease with a massive contact. He just lost a position to Chargers, and he's losing another position now to JXW, and now he's also under pressure by Golden Raider. Golden Raider goes ahead of him now, and he's definitely not having a good start to his Grand Prix. They're now battling through turn 10 on the hairpin, on the exit. He's going to get a little bit of a run down there and a little bit of slipstream. Let's see if he's going to use any sort of overtake to try and overtake Golden Raider. Does he have any sort of damage? Doesn't look like it. So it was just a bad exit out of turns 6 and 7 for Flying Jippo, and he lost a couple of positions there.
Dre Diggy making a move on Ben Swerven. Nice pass. Very clean.
Ben Swerven coming back at him, thinking about doing a switchback now into turn 3 or turn 2.
Switcheroo.
And that's not going to work out for him on that occasion. Let's move up front here because Chargers is closing up to the back of Seagrease now. And again, those soft tires really showing how much more pace they have at the start of this Grand Prix. Chargers actually just set the fastest first sector on lap 2 of 35 here at Canada. This is already turning out to be absolutely amazing to watch here. And Stanley is trying to push as much as he can. He's also closing up to the back of Osseo now. He's set the fastest second sector. Before they come into the hairpin, Osseo locks up a little bit there. Stanley had to really think fast. And now they're going to be on that back straight. No DRS yet, but we will have the DRS enabled on the next lap. And there's only a couple more corners to go on this one.
Blin, I'm trying to do my best to find out if Seagrease has some damage. He's driving really slow for how good he is. I wouldn't be surprised if something up with his wing.
Stanley's just made his move into turn 1 on Osseo. It's just overtaken him there with a beautiful move. DRS is now enabled, but so that means that now Osseo is going to have the benefit of DRS on Stanley. But Osseo is struggling a little bit on those medium tires, and he's coming in a little bit too hot there through turns 3 and 4, almost kissing the outside wall there, and losing a bit of time to Stanley. He's already almost 8/10 ahead of him.
8/10 ahead. He's on those softs. He's really got to make sure he milks them and doesn't, you know, have lots of lockups, because those tires will burn through.
So, penalties already being handed out. 3-second penalty for Diego for multiple warnings. It looks like You Having a Giggle has already got a penalty to his name. There's a little battle going on here between Gold Raider and JXW. Gold Raider's got the DRS now. He's not gaining too much space though, and looks like Seagrease and Chargers. Chargers has moved up himself into 3rd place before they get into the last chicane there, using his DRS on the exit as well. Beautiful move from Chargers, and again, those soft tires, they're just definitely working much better than the mediums right now. Stanley is still 8/10 ahead of Osseo and building more of a gap right now, and Chargers is making his move, and what a beautiful move at that.
Yeah, it's almost like an early Christmas present for people making the overtake at the Wall of Champions, because the DRS detection zone is right before that. So if you overtake a guy, you're gonna get the DRS on the front straight. It's like a double whammy.
Mr. Joshua is right on the back of You Having a Giggle, and he's trying to attack here before they come into the hairpin of turn 10. This is one of the most trickiest corners, I think, on the whole calendar. It looks pretty simple, but you gotta get, there's so many different... Yeah, there's so many different lines you can run into there, and a lot of them can be quick. It's just all about how you plant your right foot on the exit and what sort of traction you get. Here comes Dre Diggy with DRS on the exit of turn 10, now into the last chicane and passing the Wall of Champions. There's another DRS zone here, and he's trying to use it, but he's not just about close enough. Mr. Jones moves up a position. Ben Swerven goes into the pits.
Keep an eye on Ben Swerve and see what's up with him.
And Dre Diggy with... Sorry, go ahead.
He's going on the hards. He's going on the hards. He might go the distance. We'll see.
30 laps on a hard tire, that could be pretty tricky unless we get a couple of incidents in this race, which could definitely be possible. Nip Steven, a reserve driver, started at the back. Look at him go. He's already in 11th place and putting some real pressure on Dre Diggy in 10th. So he's almost into the points, and we're only in lap 5. Not going to try and jinx him, but could be a very good night for Nip Steven as he's now thinking about a move into turn 10.
Wow.
Side by side. Good rotation.
Danny Ricciardo.
Yeah, absolutely. The latest one of the late breakers, but now Dre's going to have the DRS on the exit, and he's not using any overtake. He's already down to about 50%, but it's quite easy to recover overtake on ERS around here, but he's going to probably wait until the next straight. Oh, and Dre Diggy gets a 3-second time penalty for running too wide into turn 13.
Yeah, I think Dre Diggy's, whatever his name is really struggling with 13 and 14.
I think a lot of drivers definitely will. And just looking at the nature of this track, you know, the only corners you do get around here are chicanes. So, except for the hairpin, right? So everything else, you're going to just have to hit it right. And Diego now gets another 3-second penalty. So that's already 6 to his name.
Wow. No, it's just one of those, like, okay, so for example, if you do get a 3-second time penalty at the Wall of Champions 13 and 14, it is in your head, and it stays there. So then you start getting paranoid, you start overjudging things. We all know with F1, it's all about focus. If you start overthinking things, and you're going down the wrong path.
Absolutely. Staying focused is quite tricky in any sport, and I think in F1 it is even more so. Here comes Golderator on JXW Gaming on the back straight. Is there going to be enough space for a move? I don't think so, but is going to get a little bit closer, and he runs it wide as well, and he gets a 3-second penalty. And JXW gets a bad exit out of that last chicane.
Chargers just put a move on Axio.
Oh my goodness there, so
Axio with the switcheroo.
Let's see this battle as it develops here. Golderator is still battling with JXW as well. They're side by side through 3 and 4. That is not an overtaking place at all. You have to go downhill and off camber. That is not a very good place. If you make contact, that's pretty much game over for you. But JXW a little wiggly on the exit of turn 7. And Golderator is trying to close up, just not close enough right now. Chargers only 3 tenths behind Asio. Zegrease only a couple of tenths behind Chargers. There's a nice little train going on here for second place.
Yeah, I think Zegrease, although he had a terrible start, he's really doing a good job keeping himself in the game. I like his strategy. What it looks to me is that he's having the guys ahead of him kind of do the battling, and he's kind of doing the whole safe thing. Like, let me just watch these guys battle, wait till the end of the race, and then it's shake and bake.
And we're only on lap 7 right now, but there is already, or lap 8 now, but there are already 6 drivers with penalties to their names. That is a little bit tricky. That's showing you how tricky this track is on strict corner cutting rules. Joshua into the pits now, dropping quite a few positions, going onto a medium tire. So he's doing a 2-stop, going medium to soft, probably, I would guess. That would be the smartest thing to do. Chargers now really closing up that gap on Asio, but not a good place to overtake. Zegrease right on his back wing as well, as we get a beautiful shot of that DRS opening up.
Yeah, this is great. I'm definitely watching, paying attention to this trend we got going on right now with Axio. You know, remember, this Chargers is on the softs, Zegrease is on the mediums. This track is all about tire management, and this is where the craziness happens. Let's watch this.
Onto the back straight they come. We have a yellow flag. There's an incident. Looks like Diego has had an incident. Or is it? Yeah, it is Diego. He spun out at the end of Sector 2. But no moves happening on the back straight. Oh, actually, Chargers into the pits now. I'll see a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. So now we've got about 8 drivers with penalties to their names. So that is just turning out to be a very, very hard track to drive with strict rules. And it might call some people out on that. That means you might lose some positions at the end of the race if you're not careful with your penalties.
Exactly. And one thing we also might want to point out is Chargers pitting at lap 7 or 8, I believe, already going on the mediums. That shows his tires were shot, because we all know Chargers can push it.
So there's another train now going on here with You Having a Giggle, Flying Jippo, and Golderator.
Oh, TCR Jones just peeled out. He's in the middle of the circuit.
Oh, that is going to be unfortunate. Oh, no! And Chargers had to dodge him, and he's now got damage to his front wing. He touched the wall as he was trying to get around Jones. That is very unfortunate for him. And it's just a little bit of damage, but it's not going to help.
You can't have a wing broken here at all.
Golderator making a move here on JXW, and up into 4th place he goes, and JXW runs for turn 13 a little too wide and gets a 3-second penalty to his name as well. So almost, definitely more than half of the grid now has penalties.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Stanley's going on the hards.
Stanley onto the hard tire. Can he make it 25 laps on that tire? I say he possibly could.
I know that Stanley, he's a good friend of mine. We're in a couple leagues together. I have caught him multiple times getting punctures because he does push it to the limit. But like I said, great racer. He's won plenty more times than I have. But going the hards that long is going to be pretty legendary if you can pull it off.
Now, there's an interesting comment coming in here from Sequid. He says, these rules make no sense for this track. Look at all of these penalties. And, you know, I'm not sure if I agree or not, because I think that there's a lot of chicanes here, which these penalties show. If you run these chicanes too wide, you gain a lot of time, which is why these guys are running them wide. But I also think it's an interesting topic for conversation. Turkey, what do you think?
Listen, look at Seagrease. How many penalties does he have? 0. It's one of those. It's part of the track. It's part of the rules. People will abuse the track limits if it's not on strict, and we all know it's one of those. You have 3 warnings, and if you wait the whole entire race, some knucklehead. Oh, Oxygen's going spinning out. Oh, Seagrease making a move on the right. Wow, Seagrease is in first. Blaney, watching this.
So what just happened there? Asio was ahead by about half a second.
Yeah, Axio was ahead by about half a second and spun out around turns 8 and 9, I believe. And then Seagrease just, you know, made one of his cool, boring moves. But now he's in first. But like I said, though, with the whole track limitations, you know, come on. Like, just practice it, stick to it. Instead of having everyone complain about people cutting after the end of this race, let's just stick to strict, have Cody's do it, and game on.
And just looking at the penalties right now, I actually love this new graphic that allows us to see this, and we can report to you live exactly what's going on. So Asio, Golderator, and JXW Gaming, all 3 seconds. Flying Jippo has 6 seconds to his name. Asio, by the way, is right now trying to make a move on Seagrease. He was down to about a 10th there into turn 1, and now Golderator is catching up right to the back of them. So is JXW, actually. There's a huge train going on all the way down to You Having a Giggle in 6th place. But coming back to the penalties, Chargers, 3 seconds. Motor City, 3 seconds. Dre, 9 seconds. Then we have Ben Swerve, Nip, Steven, and Jones all with 3. Diego with 14 seconds. He has a 5-second for speeding into the pits. And then McLaren P1 with a 3-second penalty at the back of the grid there.
Uh-oh. Oh, unfortunately, it looks like the McLaren might have spun out. Going back up to Seagrease, I want to point out, okay, so Seagrease is in first. In his rearview mirror, if he has an engineer, the engineer's telling him that Axio is behind him, but he also has a penalty. It's like literally you're in first and now you have a fluffer. It's like, it's the best feeling you could ever ask for it in first place.
So the closest one to anyone else right now is Flying Jippo. Oh, and look how wide he runs that turn 13. No wonder they're getting those penalties and those warnings, because they're running it completely wide, completely off the track. So I'm not surprised. But Flying Jippo making his move on JXW now through turns 1 and 2. He's trying to stick it around the outside. Beautiful move. And up into 4th place goes Flying Jippo. That is one heck of a move there, but look at that train ahead of him. It's Golderator, Asio, and Seagrease all battling for the lead of this race. On lap 13 of 35, it's been relatively clean. We've had only a couple of spin rounds, no major incidents, no safety cars just yet. So Turkey, your prediction is not so good just yet. We'll still have to wait and see. We still got, what, 22 laps to go?
Exactly. You know, there hasn't been much craziness with safety cars, but boy, has this been fun to watch.
Now they're coming up to some lap traffic.
Diego, he's got to get out of the way.
Yeah, this is gonna... Oh no! Zegers into the wall! What just happened there? Did he touch with Diego?
No, he just hit the curb because Diego was... Oh.
And Zegers into the wall, got damage. Bad, just overall bad for his race. I don't even know what to say about that one. That is horrible. Asio now into the pits from, where was he, in second place there? So Flying Jippo is now promoted into second, Goldorator into first. You Have Giggle is now in third place and catching them up pretty quickly. We've got some people in the pits. Asio and Zegers, of course, needs to change his front wing after that incident. Oh my goodness. And out of nowhere, just like that, there's a bit of a wrench thrown into the works here tonight.
Yeah. Just throw every tool, not just a wrench.
So back to the front. Flying Jippo is putting on some pressure on Goldorator now with DRS on the first DRS straight here, and now coming into turns 8 and 9. He's only half a second behind. Out of that last, or out of that hairpin corner, he could have a pretty good run on him.
Oh man, poor Zegers.
So now looking at the strategy here, so Goldorator, Flying Jippo, You Have Giggle, JXW, and Ryan are all still running on the set of tires that they started on, that medium tire. How long, you know, realistically, can you really pull that one?
I think, who was it yesterday? Kano, who said he went, what, 18 laps? Or 20 plus laps on the mediums? I was pushing the mediums pretty far. I was up to about like 65% wear, and I was starting to get the vibrations, which signals in your wheel that you're about to get a puncture. So we'll see who can push the distance. But, you know, it's all about how your driving style is. Because you can have guys who are trying to overtake a bunch, and that's going to show that those tires are more worn out compared to the guys who are just playing it cool, you know, milking the rear ass, not trying to make knucklehead moves.
Oh yeah, and look at that, Ben Swerven now battling with Nip Steven. This is for 11th place at the moment. Ryan, another pretty good performance from him so far. He's raced 3 races in TCR so far. He started as a reserve in the first couple and has done very good. He's had, I think, a 6th, a 7th, and an 8th place finish so far in 3 races, and running in 6th place again, putting on a little bit of pressure on Stanley right now. He's got him within about 4/10 of a second with the DRS. Now look, he's closing up very, very quickly into the last chicane. Also, just wanted to mention a couple of comments that came in as well. So Charles is saying that the last chicane would be absolutely abused with regular rules, and everyone would have to do it because it would be the only way to be faster there. And I have to agree. I think it's exactly what it is. You know, those rules are put in there to make sure that it's as level of a playing field for everyone as possible, and if you make a mistake, you get a penalty for it. It's as easy as that, and we don't have to be drowned in a bunch of reviews of people complaining of people going wide later on.
Exactly. No, totally. And like, now going back to before the whole Zegers blow up, I was talking about how you get 3 warnings. If you hold on to 2 warnings and it's the end of the race, and let's say you're in Spain or the Wall of Champions here, you could easily take advantage of a corner to try to speed up and overtake somebody. It's like, it's lame. That's not racing. That's not cool. So let's just keep it simple, keep it fair. You know, let's see the legit racers win this.
And sorry to interrupt you there, but You Have Giggle came through turn 10 and spun out through the hairpin, lost a bunch of time. He's into the pits now. Stanley was within just a couple of tenths of him already on the back straight. So now Stanley inherits the lead of the race on his 6-lap-old hard tires. So he's in a pretty good position right now with almost 4 seconds back to Chargers on a 8-lap-old medium. So that means Chargers for sure will have to make another pit stop. But Stanley, he might pull it out possibly.
Uh-oh. Nip Steven from Silver Class. He's in the middle, looks like no one's around him.
Yeah, it looks like he spun out through the last chicane there. Lost a bit of time. He's actually going to let Jones through because he might have damage. Yeah, he definitely has damage. He's missing all of his front wing on the right-hand side. He's pulling over to the side. I'm not sure if he's going to retire, if he's just cutting the chicane here, but or
looks like he's mowing the lawn.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if we've got any battling going on. So JXW Gaming starting to close up on Dre a little bit here, but Stanley out in front, 3.3 seconds clear of Chargers. And Asio in third, Gold Raid in fourth, Dre right now in fifth. JXW, here he comes with his move onto the back straight. Dre did not have a good exit out of the hairpin.
Yeah, I think one thing we forgot to point out is, yes, Stanley's in first, but look how many penalties he has. 0. This guy is playing the safe card. It's like, if you watched Sylvia yesterday, the guys had 16, 20 seconds worth of penalties. It was like, just keep it on the track, keep it cool, let the numbers do the work.
So as it stands right now, again, this would be a great heap of points for Renault. It would keep them in the fight for another round of racing, because it looks like, you know, between Flying Jippo and oh no, does it look like Aero did not show up again? So yeah, Flying Jippo is the only one running in 7th place, so that would give him, what, 4 points to his name? And he's just lost up, or yeah, he's just gained a position, sorry, on Dre Diggy there, moving up himself into 6th place. Maybe he heard me and he's like, okay, I'm gonna make some moves here now.
I don't know the relationship between Jippo and Dre, but that might have been an engineer call right there, saying, hey, I'm on the pressure tires, let me through, because it looked pretty clean.
And now Ryan is trying to make a move into turn 1, and you having a giggle. He's going to go into the inside. There's going to be a touch, and he goes around. And Ryan makes a 360 right around nice turn 1 there. It was definitely a good recovery from Ryan.
10.0 from the Russians.
Yes, great pirouette there, but unfortunately it's going to hurt his time by quite a bit. Jones comes into the pits to change his front wing and change his tires once again. So he is going to drop a few positions. He is going to be coming out right towards the back there. Right now there's a little bit of a battle going on between Joshua and Dre now. So Dre is losing positions very quickly. He's only done 10 laps on those medium tires, so it can't be the tire really. I'm not sure what's going on.
This just might be one of those things I was talking about where you're getting all these penalties, you're getting down on yourself, you kind of like start giving up. You know, you got to keep your head up. Maybe there's a safety car. But yeah, it looks to me like maybe there's some damage.
And he's just lost another position there on the back straight to Joshua, so down to 8th place now. And this race is, I don't really know where it's going to go, because I know a lot of people still have to make another stop. So it could shake things up depending on where they come out. If it's going to be in a bunch of traffic, if they're going to have to overtake a bunch of cars, it could provoke some trouble.
No, totally. It's the question of the day is, Stanley, can he go the distance on the hards? If not, what's his plan? It's kind of like the Mexico race last year. There was like 17 different strategies going on. My brain couldn't handle it.
So it's lap 20 of 35 here in Canada for round 14 in the Golden Class in the season 10 of TCR. Everybody who's still watching the stream, thank you guys so much for staying with us and being fans of this great league. It's definitely exciting. Every week we've got 3 classes of drivers battling it out on track. And speaking of battling, look at that battle right now with Dre and you having a giggle there. It looks like... Or is that... No, I think that's somebody who's lapped. I think that is actually Nip Steven in 15th place. It's a weird situation going on here. Chargers into the pits now, changing his front wing. So he must have had some damage. That's very unfortunate for him. Oh yeah, he had that damage when he was trying to get around Jones, who was spun out on track.
That's right.
Now Goldorator putting on some pressure on Osseo for second place here. He's within 0.3 of a second on a hard tire, putting on some pressure on Osseo, who's also on a hard tire, but there's a couple of laps gap in the lifetime of those tires between those two. So Goldorator, oh no, he had a huge drift around turn 9 there from Goldorator. Almost lost the back, lost a lot of time. Here comes JXW putting on a move on him. And JXW is on a little bit of a faster compound. He's on that medium compared to the 3 guys in front of him on a hard tire. But he will definitely have to make another stop in this race.
Goldorator trying to make that little squeeze right there. Yeah, it's tricky with these chicanes, like that last one right there at 13 and 14. Is you try to get on the power, and if you do too early, it's just you spin out right away. Oh, what contact! Oxio's out. Goldorator hit him.
So Osseo spins out there, and we were watching from on board from JXW. We had a beautiful shot of the whole incident there, and it was just a small touch between the two of them, but that was enough to drop Osseo into 5th place and give him a bit of damage on his front wing, and that is going to be very unfortunate for him. And again, in this race, just anything can happen at any moment. Joshua now closing up to the back of Dre, and Dre might lose another position here in just a second.
Yeah, the stewards are going to love that one. Oh! Goldorator spun out again! Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Goldorator now dropping positions down to 7th and losing time to You Having a Giggle behind him. And again, just things are happening here all of a sudden out of nowhere. Now Osseo gets a bad turn into turn 10, and he loses a position to Dre. And now Flying Jippo is right on the back of it, Osseo is right on the back of him. And Mr. Joshua is going to try and gain a position here, but not quite close enough as they're coming into the last chicane. Again, just things are happening all over the place. Now we've got 2 people into the pits, Dre and Osseo going into the pits. I'm actually interested to see what sort of tire are they going to throw on.
I'll stay on Stanley.
So Dre with another medium set. Osseo with also a medium set. So those guys are going to be completing this race on the medium tires, but they're going to be coming out outside of the points, and they're going to have a lot of space to make up here, even though some of the guys in front will still make another stop as well in this race. Now Zegri is catching up to Ryan. He was right out front there until he had that incident, and now he's in 8th place battling for 7th.
This is so interesting. I gotta just commit to thinking that Stanley's got a pit. It's just one of those, there's no way he can go more than, 20 laps. That's impossible on the hards. So he's got to think to himself right now, he's got 7 seconds behind him. When he comes out, he's got some traffic. So what do you think Stanley's thinking right now, BLIN?
I think he's thinking exactly that. Do I pit? Do I not? Can I make it until the end of this race on these tires? Do I have a big enough gap? Where am I going to come out? So it's all a bunch of different thoughts running through your head in a split of a second, and you got to make the right decision. And it's in a race like it's been tonight, I don't really know. It's not easy to make that right decision because you never know what's going to happen, and actually coming out in traffic could be the death of you here tonight.
Yeah, you got about 20 million questions going on. You're trying to do the gears all at the right time, the brakes. It's almost like you forget to breathe while you do this.
So 11 laps to go here, a lap 24 of 35. You Having the Giggle still catching up to the back of Goldorator, but so is Chargers. He's right on the back wing of Ryan, going for the move right into turn 6 and 7. Beautiful move there, and Ryan loses a place. He's actually on a soft tire, and Chargers on a fresh medium. So tire wear, I think, was definitely a factor there. But now trying to come back at him, Ryan is, and not really working out there. He will have the DRS on this next straight. Catching up now, closing up a bunch of time, and not going to be close enough into turn 1 though, but he's actually decided to go into the pits. You Having a Giggle making a move on Goldorator, and he's out in front of him now.
Fascinating stuff right there. I am keeping my eye on Ben Swervin because he is the only guy that's gone 19 laps in the hard so far. So I'll keep an eye on that, see how he does. He's on 20, so let's see how he does on 20.
Yeah, but remember, I mean, Stanley has to do 25 in total on those hard tires. He's done 15. We've got 10 to go. That might be a little tricky.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool if we had that Sky Sports thing that could show us
the tire performance graphic? Yeah.
That never works on that anyways.
No, it's just an estimation that they do on some sort of algorithm, but yeah, it still gives you a good idea based on also, you know, the close-up shots that they get of the tires, and you can see the blistering and the ripping on the surface of them, so I think that gives you the best idea of how the tires are doing. So Flying Jippo now very close to JXW Gaming. They're both done 10 laps on their tires, but they're on completely different tire compounds. Flying Jippo is on 10 laps on hards, and JXW is on a medium tire. So Flying Jippo, he's a much better chance of making it until the end of this race on this tire, whereas JXW most likely will have to make another stop. I'm not sure if he can make it 9 more laps, so it's going to be 19 lap old mediums. It's possible.
It's possible, but you really thread the needle. And boy, does it involve anxiety when you're in a TCR league race and you got about 60% deterioration on a tire. You're just thinking to yourself, boy, I don't want to puncture. Boy, I don't want to ruin my race. Boy, I don't want to ruin anybody else's race around me.
Oh my goodness, some very close battling going on here between Golderator and You Having a Giggle. Golderator actually tapped the back of him just a little bit, and that was very close on the exit of turn 10, but You Having a Giggle gets a way better exit, and he is running ahead for now, but Golderator is going to have the DRS. It looks like JXW Gaming has decided to pit. And he's fitting on a set of soft tires. He's only got 8 more laps to go. I think that's a pretty good call.
He's got low fuel, softs. He's ready to rock and roll.
Chargers right now on the back of Golderator. The battle for 4th place is heating up here, and they're very, very close to each other into turns 3 and 4. Golderator on a hard tire, Chargers on a medium, and this has been the story of the night, really. The tire strategy and the tire compounds and how you use them at what time of the race, I think, is really what has been the deciding factor for a lot of our drivers. Look at Stanley out there on that hard tire, 17 laps.
Degrees, spun out, unfortunately. Such a bummer.
And he's touched the wall. He's just managed to avoid Osseo, and he's staying out of the way, but he's just smashed up his front wing.
Is doing his best impersonation of Austin Powers right now.
Now Chargers is about to make his move on Golderator with DRS on the back straight. Let's see where he's gonna go. Golderator goes to the inside for the next corner. He's squeezing him in, though. Let's see how this is gonna work out. No, there's a touch into the wall. Goes Golderator after a touch with Chargers, and he smashes his front wing completely off. Virtual safety car is deployed.
Oh, get the pen out. Write the signature on the wall.
Zegrease disqualified from the session. I'm not sure what that was for.
So when you were watching Golderator, Zegrease was stuck, tried to pull back out, hit Ben swerving, and then it was just one of those. I think he started heading in the wrong direction from the impact.
Oh no!
And then yeah, it was just one of those. It's such a bummer for Zegrease.
Virtual safety car deployed here with 7 laps to go. Where's our leader? He's coming to the end of, looks like the hairpin right now. He's coming onto the back straight. He's 6 seconds.
Blin, does he pit right now at the
That's
BSC?
what I'm about to ask. I have no idea. Let's take a look.
He's going in. Oh,
no, he's not. He's staying out there.
He faked me out.
So he's going to stay out there. He's going to try and do the 25 laps on that hard tire. He's out there in the lead by 6 seconds over Flying Jippo right now. Flying Jippo, what a recovery drive he's done. He was nowhere in this race just a few laps ago, and now he's back into the podium positions there. What a beautiful performance. Chargers is putting on the pressure on You Having a Giggle. This has been...
You Having a Giggle has a drive-through, Blin.
He does, yeah. He was speeding under the safety car. Oh, and he gets a tail whip out of turn 2, and there goes Chargers up into 3rd place.
It's almost looks like as his tires deteriorate, it's so easy to just spin out coming out of these chicanes.
Yeah, I think this track in particular just requires you to be so smooth on the throttle coming out of the corners. With the chicanes here, you know, if you lose a tenth on the entry, you lose about, you know, 5 or possibly 3/10 on the exit. Ben Swerven made a bit of a touch with Ossio. It looked like coming into turn 1, and he has spun out as well, and he's back on the track now, but that is not going to help any one of them out now. And look at this, there's a weird battle going on here. Jones is battling with Motor City, but Stanley is on the older tire, and he's got a lapped car who's trying to unlap himself with DRS, and this is so weird right now. Look at Stanley, he's just trying to stay out of the way, and this is horrible timing for him. If he lets him through, then he's going to be you know, held up pretty much by Jones. If he doesn't let him through, it's almost like being under pressure by a car that's trying to overtake you.
What a strange moment right now.
Stanley has DRS, TCR Jones has DRS. Look, Stanley is parking it right in the middle of the track, not giving him any opportunity there. But this is just super dangerous at this stage of the race.
There?
I mean, a lapped car has the right to unlap themselves, but only if they're quick enough. And honestly, with this game, because of the blue flag penalties that you get when you do unlap yourself, it's not really worth it. But here comes Jones round the outside now, and up a position he goes, unlapping himself. So still stays in 12th, but unlaps himself.
Everybody's got their own race. It's one of those, you never know. Like if Jones doesn't get ahead right there and there's a safety car, he's going to be stuck lap behind the safety car. It's just one of those, you gotta keep your head down and fight the fight.
But look at that whole little kerfuffle, that lost Stanley half of his gap to Flying Jippo. He's now 3 seconds behind.
And his tires are just beaten up.
You having a giggle into the pits after 13 laps only on those hard tires. No damage on his front wing, and back out there on another hard set he comes out, or maybe we're having some glitch here. Joshua closing up to the back of Dre Diggy. Only 4 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and still I don't really know what could happen here. Stanley's tires could explode. Flying Jippo could overtake him. He's now down to 2.6 seconds of a gap. Anything could still happen in the last 4 laps here.
Yeah, it looks like Stanley's tires are slightly maybe vibrating. I'm trying to look at them right now.
Jones makes up another position up into 11th place, overtaking Motor City, who gained himself another penalty. So a lot of penalties are going to be handed out at the end of this Grand Prix here tonight. But Flying Jippo is still working down that gap, still at about 2.3 seconds. But he's definitely closing in slowly but surely. He's got 3 laps to try and overtake Stanley, or if he hangs in there, maybe Stanley's tires give out. We never know. But there's another battle here, Dre Diggy and Joshua. Joshua just overtook Dre. Dre was coming back at him with DRS. Now Joshua gets a wide run. Dre cuts the turn into turn 1, gets another 3-second penalty. And yeah, it looks like Joshua's going to keep 5th position for now. So only 3 drivers with no penalties to their names. It's Stanley out in the lead there by 2.3 seconds over Flying Jippo. Mr. Joshua, no penalties to his name. And Ryan, very impressive. I mean, I have to say, this guy came in as a reserve and has been doing a very impressive job in the last 4 races. And no penalties to his name as he's running currently in 8th. Nip Steven has a little bit of a spin coming out of turn, what was that? I think it was
2 and 3, maybe?
Yeah, 2 and 3, or 1 and 2. So he's down to 13th place now.
All right, here we go. 3 laps left. Stanley's got 23 laps on those hards. This is like Hamilton at Monaco. It's like, how hard can you milk this for?
Flying Jippo down to 1.8 seconds of a gap now, so he's just working at it slowly but surely, and he's doing a very consistent job at it, now down to 1.7 seconds. So with 2 laps to go, and with Stanley on such an old tire, I really don't know how this could turn out. What do you think the chances are of a puncture for Stanley?
Honestly, like I said, Stanley's my friend, but I gotta go 100%. There's no chance that this is gonna work out.
Big
like
lockup into the hairpin.
He should have got notes from his engineers telling him, look at all these penalties behind you. Just pit and go on the softs. It's like, the only guy you'd be battling is probably Joshua.
So we're now on lap 34 of 35. Only a couple laps to go here as Stanley's about to cross the line. TCR Jones gets another 3-second penalty to his name. Flying Jippo's gap is staying around the same, so I don't think he's gonna be able to close up to Stanley unless, as we said, unless Stanley's tires just completely give out. Maybe he loses it on the exit of a corner, or maybe he gets a puncture, which would be very unfortunate, but it's just such a high probability of that happening. He's gonna end up doing almost 26 laps on that hard tire, which is I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that's gotta be a record. I can't tell when I'm listening to the car engine if I can hear rumblings in the tires. It's like, I think I'm starting to hear the puncture about to happen.
We're gonna keep an eye here on Stanley and Flying Jippo, who's now within almost a second of Stanley, 1.4 seconds behind him now. We're coming on to the last lap of this Grand Prix. Stanley has done an incredible job so far, but can he keep it out in front? Can Flying Jippo possibly close up that 1.2 second gap and pull out an incredible performance here? He does have a penalty to his name. Let's see how many penalties he has to his name. Oh my goodness, Flying Jippo has 9 seconds of penalties to his name, so he's definitely not going to be able to win this Grand Prix here tonight. Chargers with 6 seconds, so is JXW with 6 seconds. So looking at the gap now to the leader, that means that Mr. Joshua will not be able to gain any positions, or yes, he will. He will possibly gain 4 positions here, or 3 positions. Yeah, he might be able to jump to 2nd or 3rd.
All right, here we go. Stanley's coming around to that back end last straight.
And Flying Jippo is within DRS. Flying Jippo gets a pretty good exit there. Stanley had a little bit of a lockup, a little bit of a wiggly exit. Here comes the DRS. Here comes the overtake. He's only down to 5%, so not much he can use. I don't think it's going to be close enough. Stanley is going to come across the last couple of corners here. Flying Jippo right on the back of him.
Hard tire king.
Flying Jippo finishing just behind Stanley, but with the penalty, he's actually going to finish in 2nd place and about 9 seconds behind. Chargers there with a 3rd. Let's see if he's going to keep that place now, as JXW is going to be crossing the line. Joshua, most importantly, he's going to be coming across right now. Where is this going to put him? With no penalties to his name, he's up into 4th place. So Stanley and Joshua, between the two of them, getting enough points for Renault here tonight to keep this Constructors Championship alive for another race. JXW Gaming gets 5th place. Ryan with another incredible performance from him. 4th week in a row. 6th place gets a beautiful amount of points to his name. You having the giggle in 7th. Dre in 8th. Osseo all the way down in 9th, unfortunately, even though he was in pole position for his race tonight. Ben Swerven is just coming across the line now in 10th for the last point finish. TCR Jones, unfortunately, not a very good race for him tonight. A bunch of penalties and a couple of spins, and Motor City looks like it's going to be the last of the finishers on the front lap. And then we've got Nip, Steven, McLaren, and Diego, who have already crossed the line, and they were a couple of laps behind, so quite big gaps at the end of everything. But what an incredible race we've had to watch here tonight. Ryan gets driver of the day, and definitely deserving of that, coming from the back of the grid into 6th place, doing another great recovery drive for a 4th week in a row. And there's our podium. Stanley for Renault, another win, 2 in a row, 2 weeks in a row. He's on that top step of the podium and getting those points for Renault to keep them alive in the Constructors Championship fight. Flying Jippo on the second step, and then we have, I'm pretty sure, who is it? Chargers on third?
Third place for Chargers.
All right, let's run through the finishing grid here again, just to remind myself even of who finished where. So Stanley in first, great job from him. Flying Jippo in second, Chargers in third, Mr. Joshua in fourth. So again, great amount of points for Renault there to keep them alive. JXW in fifth, Ryan in sixth, You Having a Giggle in seventh, Dre Diggy in eighth, Nasio in ninth, Ben Swervin getting that last point on the grid here tonight. Motor City in 11th, 12th goes to Jones, and then Nip Steven, McLaren, F1 Diego, Gold Raider, and Zegrease were lapped by a couple of laps, and Zegrease was actually a DNF together with Gold Raider. Let's take a look at the penalties. Who had the most penalties here tonight? I see 12 seconds, 18 seconds for Dre Diggy. That is quite an incredible amount of points. Amount of penalties to have to your name. That is quite a bit. Alright, so we've got some of our drivers joining up in the chat right now in the party. We're going to hear from them in our post-race interviews. We're just going to give them another second for all of them to join up. So in the meantime, Turkey, your impressions with the race here tonight?
All I want to know is how much deterioration Stanley had on those hearts. That's all I want to know, because it doesn't even make any sense. It's like one of those, he proved all the scientists wrong.
Well, let's wait for Stanley to join up here. I did see Chargers and Flying Jippo already joining. So we will go over to the showroom here, and we will start the interviews in just a second. But everybody who's been watching the stream so far, guys, you guys are incredible. Thank you guys so much. Leave us a like, leave us some more comments, and obviously subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, to make sure that you don't miss out on more action from TCR. Of course, tomorrow we're gonna have Platinum class here also in Canada at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always, and it should be another great race. So I guess since we have Chargers and Flying Jippo with us already in the party, let's start from the back. We will start from P3. Chargers, great performance from you. I didn't notice exactly where you started, but it was a mess of a race from where we were sitting in terms of, pit strategies and tire compounds. Everybody was racing, running a completely different race here tonight. Tell us about it from your perspective. How did it work out? How did you end up in third place? Well, yeah. Still a great performance, though. I mean, third place, and this is your 8th podium in this season. It's your 6th podium in a row, so that's an incredible performance just by its own. I wanted to ask you one question. Just looking at the results from this season so far, if you take a look at people like Flying Jippo and Stanley, those guys might be going possibly into Platinum for next year. What do you think your chances for a run at the championship are for next year? Turkey, any questions?
Yeah, Charger, congratulations, man. Great race, dude. I think my one question for you is, what is your opinion on the track limits today? Totally, totally. Congratulations, man. You did a great job today.
Alright, let's move on to Flying Jippo. I got a second place. Of course, he's our champion already in this season, but another podium to your name in this season. Second place with those 9-second penalties that definitely didn't help you out in the battle for the win. However, when I looked at the finishing results, if you take a look at the gap between yourself and Stanley, it's actually 8.994, which probably means that you actually crossed the line first. If not for those 3 penalties that you got, you would have been ahead of him. So how does that make you feel?
Man, I'm so out of breath right now. So half the race, I decided to go no racing line, because this entire season I've done racing line. That's the only assist I don't use, and I'm actually just so out of breath and sweaty. I need another shower. Yeah, it's incredible to see how close that was. I don't know. I really don't know how he was able to get so much pace out of those tires. I think it was like 26 lap old hards, and even out, he was in some laps he was even faster than me.
It's a $1 million question for all of us. We're waiting to hear.
Yeah, but no, I'm really happy with second. I'm so frustrated that I couldn't get first, but those penalties, man. I mean, I like the track limits. I like that it's strict, but there's this I don't know what turn it is, but there's this one turn that's just extremely tough to. If you even make a tiny little mistake going a little bit deep, then you get a warning, and that's what kind of screwed my race over today. But I'm still really happy with the podium. Congratulations to Stanley. Congratulations to Chargers. You guys did an incredible job. I had to feel what Chargers felt, because my first stint I had a yellow front wing, so yeah, I feel your pain, buddy. But anyway, yeah, that's my race.
Turkey, any questions for Flying Jippo?
Yeah, what's up, Jippo? Congratulations,
What's up,
dude, on second, man. My question for you is, for all the people out there that are trying to turn the line off, what was it like for you turning the line off? Does it help you kind of take your eyes off just like about 100 yards or 10 yards ahead of you, where now you can actually look ahead at the apex and find your own line? Did you enjoy it? I know it sounds super stressful, but dude, obviously you did great. You got second. It's pretty impressive.
I mean, so I only did it for half the race, because when I realized I had a chance at the race win, I was like, okay, time to turn the line on. But for the first like 15 or so laps, I was using no line, and I mean, getting into it, I'm not gonna lie, it's extremely stressful, but it's also very rewarding at the same time. And the only really difference is, like, coming to the final chicane, your eyes, instead of looking at the apex, are kind of looking to the left at the braking boards.
Very cool.
It's kind of confusing, but I mean, you can do it. I mean, I'm doing it, so yeah.
Well,
that's awesome, man.
Great performance tonight. Another podium to your name in this season, and you're already the champion. So yeah, either way, you don't really have much to lose in this one. But the battle for the Constructors' Championship is still going to continue, and it's all thanks to the winner of tonight's race, Stanley, with another win to your name. 2 wins in a row now. It's 4th win in this season as well. And as I mentioned, keeping Renault alive in that Constructors' Championship battle. Now with 2 more rounds to go, do you think you guys can make it with these sort of performances like you've been doing for the last couple of weeks? I mean, how do you do it, man?
Not sure. Because I didn't really practice that much for this race, and I was quite shocked that how quick I don't know what I was gonna say. So I think the constructors, the Red Bull might be way too far, but we'll just keep trying and see how it goes. But during qualifying, it was quite frustrating because I thought I was like quite quick in the full wet, but during the inters I was so close to full position, like 14 thousandths, and I got third. That was frustrating, but for the first couple laps, I knew I had to pass the Osseo and Seagrease since they were on the mediums, and luckily I got past them quite quickly. And then I think I might have pitted for the hards a bit too early. Like lap 9, I could have extended to like lap 10, lap 11, but
Yeah. Well, I know that Turkey is dying to ask you about your tires, so go ahead, Turkey.
Stanley, aka the Speed Demon. Congratulations, dude. I think we're all waiting to hear, man. What on God's green earth was the tires at? Was it like what percentage? I was like literally zoned in on your tires, trying to figure out when you're gonna get a puncture, like you did in France when we raced against each other. I think last week. I was like, what is he doing? But you pulled it off, man.
actually the tire wear wasn't actually that bad. It was like 60% at the end.
Oh, well, there you go, Platinum class.
Wow, absolutely incredible.
But at the end, when I did see Jippo side by side, I was like, and if he had no penalties, that would have been really embarrassing if I lost the win like that.
Wow, well, Stanley, congratulations on another win. You also crucially finished a couple of positions ahead of Chargers, so you're going to get some good gap between yourself and him for P2 in the championship. Great performance, congratulations on the win. Yeah, let's see what you can do in the last couple of rounds. Alright, so I guess we will end it off there. We heard from all of our drivers here tonight. You guys saw a lot of action going on track tonight in this round 14 of the Golden Class in Season 10. Remember tomorrow to join us at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for the Platinum Class racing around Canada here as well. I'm sure that will be exciting. It will be myself back in the comm booth, and we will also have Motor City joining us, so he will get some good insights from tonight's race from him for his perspective as well. So join us then. But tonight was an incredible race, and I want to throw out a huge thank you to Turkey Whacker for joining me in the comm booth tonight.
Oh, Blin, these are so much fun, man. It's basically two dudes that are friends just talking about F1. Is it cooler than that? Is it get cooler than that?
There's nothing better. And thank you again for joining me. I hope to see you in the booth here again with us soon.
Right on, brother. Thank you so much.
Alright, and a huge thank you to everybody who's been watching. Leave us a like, subscribe to the channel. We will see you tomorrow at 8:15 again for the Platinum Class race here. We've only got basically 3 more races to go at most in the Platinum Class in the season. We're gonna finish out the season with Canada, US, and then Mexico. So yeah, join us tomorrow. A huge thank you also to all the officials and all the stewards and everybody who does all the work to make sure this league runs every week. So thank you to everyone. Have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow.